Hey kids, this video is long overdue. I actually have had this sitting on my desktop in like a 2-hour format, and I've been trying to edit it down when I have free time, and I need to get it out right now. It's going to be in 2 parts. The first part is a recap of what actually happened on the cruise and what went down, and the second part was supposed to be posted before the cruise, but with preparation and getting ready and packing, I didn't have time to sit down and edit the video. It never got posted, so I'm going to recap it all for you right now. Actually, correction, this is going to be a 3-part video. The first part is going to be right now. This is my thank you. I have the most amazing fans on YouTube. I can't believe it. The RuPaul's Drag Race girls had a full year to plan and invite their fans to come play with them on the cruise. I had 3 months to get people into my group, and I had more people in my group than many of the other RuPaul's Drag Race girls. And for that, I thank you. And because of that, they asked me to be on the next cruise, and I will be giving you a video very shortly, soon, coming up, of how to get into my group for the 2013 cruise. But first, I need to get out the recap video of 2012, so here it is. Hey kids, this is Misty Eyez, and I am back, safe on dry land, surviving the Carnival Cruise Glory Expedition with ALandChuck.travel. Wow. Yeah, the weird thing about going on a cruise is you are constantly moving. And when you get off the boat for a couple of days, you feel like you're still moving. I've had to work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm just now home Tuesday night. And all I've done except for work is sleep. I don't know if it's because I didn't sleep at all on the cruise, or well, I did sleep like a couple hours a night, or if it's because my body is just, you know, reacclimating to dry land. But yeah, I want to give you a quick update of what went on. This is probably going to be a really long video because I have lots of ideas and thoughts to say. But this cruise, I'm not sure if you were aware, I'll talk about it a little bit more in a minute, but there was huge controversy involved the week before we left, 5 days before we left to be exact. And I just want to let you know that Carnival Cruise Line has went above and beyond and exceeded and surpassed any expectation to try to overcompensate and make better anything and make right any wrongs that they might have made. They truly exceeded any expectations I could have. And for the most part, I would say that all of the passengers on this boat, besides the ALandChuck party, were also equally amazing. There were a few exceptions, you know, and I don't know why there was exceptions, because I found out towards the end of the cruise that all the straight people were messaged, called, and emailed saying that there was going to be a very large drag group on the boat, and if they were uncomfortable, they can get their money back. I have no idea how many people did, but I do think some people did cancel the trip because of the drags. But yeah, for the most part it was really good. Some of the girls, well, obviously if you're a drag queen, transgendered person, transsexual, you're going to use the women's bathroom. I mean, it's just a given. And there was this straight woman and her husband at one of the bars right outside the bathroom, and every time a girl would go into the women's bathroom, she would freak out. There's faggots in the women's bathroom, like, I'm tired of this shit. And she would just cause a scene for no reason. She wasn't even in the bathroom. She was just making a scene. And her husband was there, and I wanted, but I didn't because I was on my best behavior, but I wanted to walk up to her and say, would you rather that girl be in the bathroom with your husband? Probably not. It'll be a little bit more difficult, but she was just making a scene because she could. And obviously a lot of the girls on this boat, there's no way she could have known they weren't women, except for the fact that everyone was warned that we would be on the boat, and we sort of stuck out in that aspect. But you know, I don't blame Carnival for making sure nobody was offended and saying, hey, just in case you want your money back, you can. Although I think it would have went a little more smoothly if they weren't warned for that reason specifically. For the most part, we were not really seen by the most of the boat, you know, because we had our own parties and our own events and things. But this trip was totally amazing, and I want all of you to know that next year, when it comes time to do this again, I think we're going to be doing this again next year, you have to do it. Because this, to me, was like a family reunion. Meaning, I was going on a cruise with tons of my cousins that I have not even met before. My distant family and friends that I haven't met before. And our parties were invitation only for the shows and things like that, and we were given white bracelets. And again, half the boat was our party. So the white bracelet people, and it was the non-white bracelet people. So we were kind of standing out, like at the buffets, and you know, people would look and say, "Oh, here they come," or "Uh-oh, the drag queens are coming." You know, sometimes. But at the same token, we could identify each other that way. You know, there was a couple gays on the boat that were not white party people, and I was like, "Where's your white bracelet?" Like, you know. But I had a room to myself, so you know, the weird thing about being on a boat is you don't have cell phones, and you know, you can't say, "Hey girl, where you going? Hey, you want to do lunch? Hey, what's up?" You know, I'd wake up out of my bed and I'd just walk into the dining room or whatever, and if I didn't see anybody I knew, I would see white bracelets and be like, "Hey, can I sit with you?" Everybody was always like, "Yes, of course." It was kind of like church camp, where you were there to meet friends, but it was more like a family reunion where you felt welcome. And much like a family reunion, we drank the house down. I don't think they were prepared for how much the gays drink. In fact, I heard they had to stop twice to replenish their alcohol. And I know the first night we were there was a bar called White Heat, and they only had 2 bartenders and I think 1 cocktail server. And the kids were like, "You're gonna need more bartenders. You're gonna need more," you know. And they're like, "Oh, we're fine. This will be cute." And no, it wasn't. They needed a lot more. So yeah. It was crazy, but it was a good time. It was so much fun. And the unique thing from the entertainment point of view, in fact, I'm going to use Jiggly Caliente, because the first night I was there, I saw Jiggly Caliente, who I've known, and she came to me and she said, "Hey girl, blah, blah, blah." And somebody that I don't know was sitting next to me and was like, "Oh, God, Jiggly is such a bitch." And I was like, "Why? What are you talking about?" And he's like, I said hi to her, and she was like this. "Hi." And kept walking. And I'm like, that doesn't mean she's a bitch. That just means she doesn't know you. And before the cruise was over, a lot of that awkwardness, and it happens to me too, it happens to everybody. "Hi, Misty," and then you think in your head, do I know this person, or did they just read my name in a magazine? And if I don't know them or don't recognize them, I'm like, "Hi," and it takes me a second to be like, I don't know what to say next, bye, you know. But on this boat, it was like, these people paid like $1,000 each to come and hang out with us. So whenever somebody knew my name and said hi, I definitely stopped and got to know them. And I took pictures with everyone that asked. I mean, it was a cruise. Where am I going to go? You know, a lot of times at Pride festivals and things like that, people want pictures. And I literally have like minutes to get to the main stage or to my next performance, or I have to be somewhere. But I'm like, what? Where am I going to go? Of course you can have a picture. But my big thing was, and a lot of the other girls started doing this too, yes, you can have a picture, but you can have a picture with me, not of me. And my big thing with that was, all these straight people, tons of straight people wanted our pictures. And I was like, they're not going to go home and put it on their Facebook, "Look, I saw this freak on a boat." No, they're going to be like, "Hi, I got a picture with a freak on the boat," if they wanted to. You know, like, we're friends. I was like, "Honey, I'm going to do Facebook, not paparazzi." You can't be like, click, as I walk by, you have to be with me. But it was a truly amazing, amazing, amazing trip. And the key was, you literally got to hang out with all the girls. We were all there. The unique thing was, it's like a floating city, meaning I could see one guy one day and never see him for the rest of the trip. But at the same token, if I saw any of the girls and I didn't know, I could literally sit down with them and talk with them for a long time and really get to know everybody, unless they were swarmed by people. I had the pleasure of meeting Alaska and Sharon online a couple years ago, and it was my first time meeting them in person, but they were so busy being swarmed by people that I didn't really get to have the kiki la 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 time. My voice is actually just starting to come back, by the way. I lost it in the club, probably from yelling "Fort Lauderdale" to the gays and to the straights. "Yes, I have a vagina, it's just in the back." And because the music was loud and smoky and we were screaming, and it was a crazy good time. And I really, really, really am glad I went. I think Out of all the group leaders that were non-logo talent, I'm the only one that I think showed up. Because there's a lot of group leaders on there, but I didn't see any other group leaders. I think because they didn't have enough people in their group or whatever, I don't know. I only had 8 people in my group, which was a lot more than some of the people in logo. But I don't know. It was just a good time. I'm definitely going to go next year. I'm looking forward to it, and it was such a pleasure to meet people. It was weird because I'd be like at the pizza deck at 3:30 in the morning, 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, and getting pizza, and somebody would walk up out of drag, you know, my hat down low, and a guy walked up from Denver, and he was like, "I recognize your lips." And I got to meet some great people, some amazing, amazing people. I truly had the most amazing time, and I can't wait for next year. But this was like a maiden voyage, meaning it was the first time ALandChuck did anything of this magnitude. And I truly feel and believe that next year, when it's done again, they're going to work out all the little kinks and make it that much more amazing. Again, I'm super ecstatic and super happy with ALandChuck.travel, and I'm super ecstatic and super happy with Carnival Cruise Line, and I can't wait till the next one happens.
A lot of passengers on this ship, and I think we should congratulate the changing world that we live in, because the onboard guests were fantastic.
I hope that the next one's not Carnival, just because I want to experience things outside of Carnival, and you know, I like to do everything. If I go to a theme park, I want to ride every ride. So now I want to do every cruise line. But because Carnival was so cool and so open-minded and so accepting of our community, a minority community within the GLBT community, I truly think that they'll probably go with Carnival again. Because again, this is like the Stonewall. It was like the Stonewall of 2012 for the TS, TG, TV, and CD community. You know, truly accepting of all of us and our fans. And the shocking thing to me was that our fans, there's a majority of our fans on this boat were bears. I think for the most part that a lot of guys on this boat were comparing this to Atlantis, which I've never been on an Atlantis cruise. This in fact was my first cruise ever. And the Atlantis cruise is like a total fuckfest, like a big orgy at sea where everyone's just hooking up. And again, this is more like a family reunion where it's just a bunch of like-minded people coming together to celebrate and have a good time, and just really, it was awesome. Of course, you put any gay people together and there's going to be an element of sex, especially at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. You know, people were doing the midnight crawl and, you know, the last call and looking for it, and I heard that the saunas were being cruised and things like that, but for the most part, I think that our group was on the best behavior, and can't wait till the next one. Big time. Anyways, loving you is easy. Bye. What I'm going to talk about now is the RuPaul Drag Race Cruise, Carnival Cruise Line, and the scandal that has just taken place. ALandChuck.travel, Legendary Journeys, has booked a RuPaul's Drag Race cruise, booking all of the drag queens that have ever been on RuPaul's Drag Race and all of their friends and fans and loved ones. And they have even reached out to other drag queens, like me for example, asking us to be group leaders and inviting all of our fans and friends to host parties, cocktail parties and dinners, and entertain. And many of you that watch my videos know that through my Ask Misties, I have the unique ability to see both sides of the coin. And maybe I help you see both sides of the coin as well. For example, when a gay person comes out to their very Christian parents, it's usually a very difficult thing because parents are either picturing this or they're picturing this. And It's just not good. They can't wrap their head around the fact that gays are ordinary people too. But I'm sure as time started ticking down to taking off, the Carnival people started to get a little nervous, because a non-drag person thinking of drag queens is probably thinking of this or this. And they're like, oh my god, we're going to have crazy cross-dressers running around the pool and up and down the hallways causing a scene. And let me also talk about this. This just happened right after there was a gay cruise in Jamaica that was docked in the port in Jamaica, and there was two men having sex on the balcony, and it was in front of the port in Jamaica and in front of a Starbucks, and the people in the Starbucks were watching and complaining. First of all, Jamaica is one of those countries that is not that tolerant of the GLBT community. Why in the world are you on the balcony in front of everyone being an exhibitionist? There's nothing wrong with being an exhibitionist. However, there's a time and a place. Be an exhibitionist in that type of a behavior in a sex club, or in a bathhouse, or at a strip club, or at gay days, or whatever. You don't do it on a boat docked in Jamaica. Needless to say, the police went on the board and they were arrested. And I totally agree with that. Those people were in the very, very, very wrong. Now, after such a scandal on another cruise line, you can't blame Carnival for being a little cautious and or, oh no, we just followed a scandal, let's try to prevent one. So I'm going to read you this letter that we got Tuesday night. Meanwhile, the boat leaves Sunday morning. Many people have already ordered all their costumes, paid for their things to wear in this boat, packed their bags, and some people are already flying over from other countries to get to Miami so they could take off from this port. So Tuesday night, my phone starts blowing up from 9 until 2 o'clock in the morning while I was at work, and I was like, why is my phone dead? Because it's been vibrating so much. I'll read you this letter, and then we will dissect my thoughts, opinions, and what is so viciously wrong about this letter. Again, I do not feel that the Carnival Cruise Line people came from a place of hate or judgment or even homophobia. It was just a mere... I think they were trying to put out a fire, but instead they ignited a huge fire. Here's the letter. Greetings, fun seekers. Exciting, right? We know you are all looking forward to the cruise next month. Meaning, it sounds like it's a whole nother month, but it's just a week away. We certainly are looking forward to welcoming you and your group along the beautiful Carnival Glory. There are lots of special activities planned for you and your group, and we are very confident that you're going to have a great cruise. In order to ensure a fun and memorable time for everyone, we want to take a few moments to make you aware of certain policies and conduct expectations as to avoid any potential disappointment during your cruise. Totally PC, right? I agree. Okay, yeah. What are these policies? Carnival attracts a number of families with children, and for this reason we strive to present a family-friendly atmosphere. It is important to us that all guests are comfortable with every aspect of the cruise. Although we realize this group consists solely of adults, we nonetheless expect all guests to recognize that minors are on board and refrain from engaging in inappropriate conduct in public areas. I still think there's nothing wrong with this phrase. However, it's the first week of December, meaning kids are done with Thanksgiving break and they're back in school before Christmas break. There's not going to be that many kids. Yes, our group is a majority of adults, but it's not solely adults. There are lots of transgendered children, and there are lots of fans of drag, you know, that had kids. Kids are fans of drag too. I mean, how many times have I been hired at bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, the children's Christmas parade? Kids are not afraid of drag. They're not traumatized by drag. Drag is fun and exciting for them. It's like Walt Disney World, but not in Orlando. Yet we keep going. Agreements have been made for drag performances in the main theater featuring the stars from Logo TV. These functions will be private and only for the performers that are permitted to dress in drag while in this theater. Guests are not allowed to dress in drag for the performances or in public areas at any time during the cruise. Okay, wait. Pause. Now, what Carnival doesn't realize is that drag pageants and shows and events are like church for the gays and church for the drag queens. We go to see and be seen. For example, Miss Continental. If I'm not competing, you better know that I'm there in drag so I can see the girls that are competing, watch the pageant, and see my local friends and family and loved ones that are fans of the Continental system and drag. Right? Right. They failed to realize that, yes, we have a lot of straight fans. Yes, we have a lot of gay fans. But I would say that a majority of the fans of drag are drag queens. Not to mention Logo TV, a lot of these want to be on Logo TV. Like me, for example. I'm dying to get on RuPaul's Drag Race. Of course I'm going to go and hang out with these people. Now you're telling me that I can't dress in drag? How are they going to know who I am? How are they going to recognize me? How are they going to see that I am beautiful and fierce and amazing? Now you're telling me that I spent hundreds of dollars on clothes for the red ball, the white ball, the black ball, and I don't get to wear them because I'm not a Logo TV star? Okay, but now I'm an ALandChuck special guest host. Am I going to have to host the cocktail party and host the dinner party out of drag? And what about like Delta Work and Morgan McMichaels, for example, and the other 31 contestants, or RuPaul Drag Race contestants that will be entertaining? If they're not performing all 3 nights, they can't go to the other nights in drag? And you're not allowed in public areas, meaning you can't be seen walking to the theater or in the elevator? It gets worse. We're sorry to say that any guest who violates our policies and or whose behavior affects the comfort and enjoyment of our guests will be disembarked at their own expense with no refund given. Thank you for your cooperation. Now that we've taken care of business, let the fun begin. Wait a minute. Okay. Now this is a huge problem because me, for example, I can speak mostly of myself. I don't have nice boy clothes. So I live in Florida, so I have like 3 or 4 pairs of shorts, 1 pair of jeans, a lot of t-shirts, and that's about it. So I definitely don't have a red outfit or a black outfit or a white outfit. And I'm still going on this cruise because not only did I pay for my room, I had to pay for my roommate's share of the room because he's not coming, so that means I had to pay double. Yeah, by the way, if you go by yourself, you have to pay for the whole room. The price that they are giving you is only half of a room. So, I paid double what most people are paying on this cruise, and now I have to be a boy the whole time? Now, granted, I wasn't planning on being a girl the whole time either. I was planning on doing drag those 3 nights and or any other night that they might need me to. Like, for example, if I'm doing the dinner with my guests in my group a different night, then I'll of course do it then. Or if the cocktail party is a different night, of course I will do it then as well. But I'm not planning on being drag every night, just the major parties. The white party, the black party, etc. Now, the real kicker is, if we're in the middle of Nassau, Bahamas, for example, or almost to Nassau, Bahamas, and a tranny or a transgendered person or somebody who's deemed in costume is seen going from their room to the elevator or the elevator to the dining hall, they're disembarked from the cruise and they're kicked off in the Bahamas saying, "Hi, bye, get out, you have to fly yourself to wherever you live." Hell to the no. Because what's going to happen is if they stayed with this letter, you're going to have transgendered people who are people that feel they are trapped in the wrong body and might not have done anything to change it. They still dress in the female clothing, but they're masculine. And then you're going to have transsexuals who have breast implants, and some might not have breast implants, but they've got facial reconstruction and their hips and ass, and you know, they might have long fingernails. Or how do you decide? Oh no. You're going to have a lot of people panicked. You opened a whole can of worms. So, needless to say, the vlogs, the blogs, the internet went crazy about this letter. My phone went crazy, my text messages, my emails, my Facebook, because a lot of people, I've been very vocal about going on this cruise. And I'm like, you guys know what, you know, obviously if you're a tranny and you have breasts, they're not going to make, if your ID says male, they're not going to make you sit at the pool in a boy's swimsuit with your tits out. Obviously that's not going to happen. They're going to want you in drag. So don't worry about that, you know, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't get so panicked. You know, we still have a couple days, you know, and, you know, a lot of people are going crazy. And I don't blame them, because I, for one, have saved up every penny I have to go on this cruise. And now, my room, my brain, my life had been shattered. And I'm sure they've had many transgendered people and cross-dressers in their boats before, but never knew because they blended in. You know, I think that a lot of the drag queens that were irate, including myself, I was beyond pissed when I read that letter, because I felt that it started off sweet and happy and then it went straight to attack. You know, the drag community is not the sex-crazed, hungry, you know, cruise ship that landed in Jamaica. We're not going to be having sex in the pool. We're not going to be having sex on the balcony. We're just men that enjoy entertaining as women. And I don't blame them for being nervous or cautious. And I'm sure that a lot of people wrote letters, and I believe that they read a lot of them. And I believe they read mine. And this is funny because I wrote my email. I was up till 7:30 in the morning writing the letter. I almost didn't send it because I was so tired, and I'm just like, my mind was all over the place. But when I woke up at 3 p.m., 3:30ish, I had the reply already. You know, and the funny thing is that ALandChuck.travel also got side-slammed by this Carnival letter. They had no idea this was happening. They got the letter same time we did. And they came back with their PC letter saying, you know, we kind of see where they're coming from. I do too. I totally do. The way they did it was wrong, but I see where they're coming from. And so they were like, well, you know, maybe after 9/11, maybe with the costume, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 9/11, you can't wear a mask in the airport, but eyelashes are not masks. I mean, I'm wearing 2 pairs of eyelashes, very big ones, but you can still see my face. And then when I woke up, we got another letter from Carnival. Dear Carnival guests, within the last 24 hours, we have become aware of a miscommunication between Carnival Cruise Line and ALandChuck.travel, who has booked a very large interest group on the upcoming Carnival Glory ship departing December 2nd, 2012. The group, Drag Stars at Sea, includes several performances by stars from Logo TV as part of a series of private events on board. When the group was presented to us, we were advised that only the performers would be dressed in drag during the private events. However, we are now aware that this was not clearly communicated to members of the group, and therefore anyone who wishes to dress in drag may do so. Pause. My suggestion was, tell us we can only do it 3 nights a week, or tell us we can only do it after a certain time. It now goes to say, I repeat, and therefore, anyone who wishes to dress in drag may do so. This doesn't say only in the theater. This doesn't say only in private areas. This doesn't say only in special events. This says anyone that wishes to dress in drag may do so. Please keep in mind that our safety and security procedures require guests to present government-issued ID and to be recognizably that person. Carnival, we are proud to carry more than 4.5 million guests every year, and we welcome all of them aboard. We do not practice any form of discrimination against the LGBT community or any other community. We sincerely apologize for the miscommunication, for any unintended offense we might have caused. Given this miscommunication, anyone on this cruise who wishes to cancel for any reason may do so and will receive a full refund of their cruise fare, as well as reimbursement for any non-refundable travel-related expenses. What? What? Not only is Carnival saying we don't discriminate against anyone, which obviously I mentioned before, we've seen the cougar cruises, the swingers cruises, the nudist cruises. Why would they? I really don't think that they realized how offensive their letter was and the damage it could and did cause. Unfortunately, they can't take those words back. The damage has been done, but within 12 hours, the damage has been rectified. Or maybe 24 hours. I don't know when the email was originally sent. I just know when I read it. So it was 12 hours later for me. But within 24 hours at least, at the most, it was solved. They jumped on this bandwagon and got the shit together. And they're saying, if you bought a plane ticket from England to Miami, Florida, and you're not coming, we will reimburse you for that plane ticket. What? By the way, why would you cancel now that you're allowed to express yourself the way you're most comfortable? But the fact that they're willing to do so speaks mounds. What it says to me is that they are truly sorry. They didn't mean to hurt anyone's feelings, and they will do what they can to rectify the situation. We constantly strive to provide our guests with a fun and memorable vacation. We look forward to welcoming everyone to Carnival Glory, and again, want to apologize for the misunderstanding for any offense we might have caused. What I want you guys to realize, what just happened. In my opinion, this was the internet stonewall of 2012. What happened was a cruise line put out a big letter saying nobody can do drag, blah. If you're caught in drag, you're being disembarked wherever we are, Puerto Rico, Grand Turk, Nassau, St. Thomas, or whatever, and you are now left to your own defenses without any reimbursement. They went to saying, now if I hurt your feelings and you don't want to come because you're uncomfortable, you get all your money back. And now what's happening is Carnival has come out full pro LGBT TS TV CD. That is major. And on this RuPaul's Drag Race cruise, I have a feeling that they are going to do everything but actually kiss our ass, because they realize they did something very wrong. Again, they didn't mean to. But how many times have we done something wrong and we didn't mean to? It doesn't mean that it didn't hurt. It doesn't mean that it didn't sting. It didn't mean that you didn't bleed. It just means that it was an accident. I didn't mean to. And you have to realize, as a manager, as a party promoter, as an event planner, they were trying to protect all of their guests and make sure everyone had a good time. And in the meantime, opened a can of worms, really hurting a lot of people.